Well, what do we have here? Looks like a Bondi Blue. Oh, iMac Apple, this is a beauty, I tell you. It comes with the original hockey puck mouse. I wonder if she works. Oh yeah, check that out.
Welcome to the Apple Orchard. Join myself and others collecting vintage and not so vintage Apple computers and products. Welcome to the Orchard.
Well, I'm not entirely sure when or where I got this. It's just some old footage I found. I thought it'd be fun to show everybody what we're doing here. Basically, the idea is to dual boot this iMac Bondi, the nice old Bondi Blue here, with a 9.2 and a 10.3. I think it's as high as this one will go. But while we're going through all this stuff, I might as well tell you a little bit of information about it, because this is the Apple that saved Apple. How would you say that? Well, it was when Steve Jobs finally came back to Apple Computer about 97. They had to find something that would actually save them from going bankrupt, because they're literally just weeks away from going bankrupt in the Apple Corporation. So this computer actually began in the early 98, at least it was told about in May of 98, but they didn't actually release it until August of 98. And it was meant mainly for the educational markets, which makes complete sense, since I just remember growing up and working with the Apple IIs back when I was in elementary school. So that, I mean, it's a brilliant way to market things, is to actually get people or get the kids in while they're young, and the kids sit there and tell their parents that they need to get this Apple because what are these other beige boxes? I have no idea what they do, but I can really run this Apple well because my teachers have shown me to. I have to do all my projects on these. I mean, it's brilliant, brilliant marketing on that. But according to Jobs, in iMac, the I would stand for Internet, the individual, instruct, inform, and inspire. But on here we can see that we're going to see if we can hook her back up to the internet, mainly because right now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to update the firmware, because I'm not entirely sure that this one has its firmware updated to the point so it can actually take anything over 10 or 9.2 to 10 point, or OS X. But somebody took all the internet software off of this thing completely, so I cannot get onto it, which only means one thing. We need to wipe the hard drive. And what was that? CRT is making some strange...
Say, Applecat, what do you think about the Bondi Blue? You don't have to say anything.
Applecat's just not impressed. Well, the iMac was controversial in ways by it stripped away all the old ports, the ADB, the Apple Desktop Bus, and the SCSI for USB ports. Now, this made everyone freak out because it was just coming out. It was new technology at the time. Kind of like today when Apple took away the headphone jack in the iPhones. Everyone was all freaking out about that, but now everyone's just using Bluetooth or wireless headphones. But there's only 3 screws that actually take this bottom case off, which made it nice in a way. You're going to see here that it's a little bit more difficult than they describe. Now, they started off with a staggering price of $1,299 back in 1998. And this all-in-one design with this colored plastic that was translucent was completely mind-blowing at the time. Everyone else was doing this nice, boring beige box type thing. It was all the same, kind of an industrial look. And here comes Apple coming out with this blue color, this Bondi blue color, which is inspired from the watercolor of the Bondi Beach in Australia. Well, there are 2 different revisions of this, the Rev A and the Rev B. Let's go over what they have in common between these two, because basically the Rev B came out 2 months later after the Rev A. But when they first came out, they both have the 233 megahertz G3 processor in there, with 32 megabytes of RAM, the 24-spin CD-ROM, the 10x100 Ethernet. Now you can see I just cannot get this thing off. And great. Can I fix it? Of course not. Well, so much for the Smithsonian for this one. Okay, well, moving on. It also has 2 USB ports, 2 headphone jacks so you're able to share with your friends, an analog audio input mini jack, some built-in speakers, and finally got that thing off. Appears that nothing is broken. Let's take a look at that logo. Oh yeah, it's all there. But it also came with a 15-inch display at 1024 by 768 resolution, all weighing in at a whopping 38 pounds. Now, as you can see here, what we're trying to do is that the display is actually just connected in, which looks like a VGA port. We have to unscrew that, and then there are just a few other things you have to unclick. Right next to it, we have this. I'm not entirely sure what this bundle of wires is for. I'm sure someone can tell us in the comments section. And there is also another thing that we need to take off up there, but the only thing really holding this thing in are those 2 screws I just shown you right there. And it's just basically a huge sled that contains the entire computer. And all the rest is pretty much just speakers and the CD, not even the CD drive that comes on the sled, speakers and the CRT. Okay, and pro tip out there for you. If you have that screw just laying in there and I can't pick it up with my screwdriver, so I have one of my old hard drive magnets here, and you just kind of rub it around, and lo and behold, your screwdriver is magnetized once again, at least to help you out pick up those pesky screws. And you'll notice that when you're working with these iMacs, that yeah, the screws are always inlaid somewhere between a whole bunch of plastic, so sometimes it's kind of tough to get it out. Now, the first time pulling these things out, they're a little bit tricky. I'm not going to lie, is that they're in there very well designed, so everything has its place and it just fits just perfectly. So getting it out takes a little bit. Now check it out. That is your logic board. There is your CD-ROM drive. Right below that is the hard drive for the whole thing. And we just inspect the rest real quick to make sure that there's no rust or anything, and everything looks pretty good. All right, well, this side may go. We will see you in a bit, because all we're going to worry about is the sled with all the funness on there. Now, you look here. There's our CMOS battery, and that's basically the SG RAM. And under there, that was a problem at one time. Oh, my gosh. I was trying to figure out how to maximize my G3, because, well, for these, they max out at 250, or no, I think they max out at 512. But for the rest of them, they'll max out at 1 gig of RAM, so you can put 2 512 sticks in. Well, I could figure out the top part. I didn't realize that you had to take out the, well, you can take out the entire module right there, and you can flip it over, because it just plugs right into it, but it's really stiff, and there's the other place to put your other module. Now, another fun part is trying to get these things out for the first time, because you cannot really tell that there are just little hooks in the back where you just kind of push in and you pull up, and it slides in so nice, just like so. And then we unhook from the rest of the motherboard here. Maybe. Oh, stiff, and new. So nice. It's just nice to feel that, because you know no one else has really been in there. If they have been, they knew what they're doing, and they were in and out and didn't really do anything. Yep, there we go. Our 24-spin CD-ROM drive. The old tray loaders. Or Steve Jobs was pretty mad when they put those in the first time. He really wanted the slot loaders. He got them on the second part when they started, they got past all the fruit editions. So here we go. We finally got out the interior sled for our hard drive, and that's where our hard drive sits. And there we are, the Apple hard drive. I cannot see on there, but this one is either a 6 or a 4. I'm not sure if it's Rev A or Rev B. It's been too long since I've actually played with this one. Well, we're going to swap out this hard drive, and we're going to basically be using a whole bunch of other my toys to get this thing all dual booted and up and ready to rock. So until next time.